Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Vicki and today I'm going to be making a Thanksgiving, and for those of you that don't celebrate Thanksgiving, an autumn card that can be easily switched out by changing your greeting. And the products I'm going to use today include just three. This is a simple one. I've got the Sizzix Tim Holtz Fall Foliage dies, and I'm going to use an older sentiment from Studio Katia from her Autumn Border set. And then the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous Falling Leaves. So we're going to start today's card by using three of the die cuts that I made from watercolor cardstock that had been ink smooshed at the beginning of autumn, or the first day of autumn actually. I ink smooshed a bunch of autumn colors onto some Distress Watercolor Paper, and then I die cut them using three of the leaves from this Fall Foliage die set. And then I just took some Distress ink, and I believe it was, let me take a look. It was walnut stain, and I just sponged on some walnut stain onto the edges to give them a little bit of a distress look, and we'll be using those today to apply to the card front. So I decided to add a little touch of realism to my leaves, and I've already done it to one where I have used two of the stamps. Well, actually I had three, and then I settled on these two. These two stamps from the Falling Leaves stamp set from Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. And all I did was I took some, Distress Archival ink in the Ground Espresso, and we'll just do these together here. I just inked them up. And even though they're not the same size or even the same type of leaf, more or less, I just place them on here. And we'll get the next one. And get ink all over the place. But then I'm just going to take a piece of copy paper just to keep from getting so messy. And I'm just going to press those leaf die cuts into that ink stamp. For the greeting on the card, I'm going to use the Happy Thanksgiving from Studio Katia's Autumn Borders. And I'm just going to, since I haven't used this one before, I'm going to go ahead and prime that. And I'm going to also use my Tailored Expressions anti-static powder tool and prep the area so we don't have pieces of embossing powder sticking. And then I'm going to use Simon Says Stamp Clear Embossing ink, and I'm just going to stamp this onto my card front towards the bottom. It's going to be a landscape top folding card. And so we're just going to do that. And I'm going to do it one more time. And I think that'll be good. Set this aside. And I'm going to bring in my coffee filter. And today I'm going to be using the Brutus Monroe penny colored embossing powder. It's very pretty, very autumn, and nice fine texture. Yeah, that's very pretty. And let's go ahead and heat set that. And I always tilt it in the light to make sure that I got all the embossing powder melted, and that looks great. So let's filter this back into the container. And put a lid on it. Okay, let's set that aside. And it's not quite centered, but that will just have to do. And now let's get this panel attached to my matting layer. So I applied the Simon Says Stamp Big Mama's Phone Tape to the back of my front card panel, and that'll help flatten that out, because this was also a panel that at the beginning of autumn I started just ink smushing and spraying and with my oxides and whatnot, and that was a panel that I liked the look of for this project. But we're just going to take the backers off of this and adhere it to the red card panel, which is actually not red, it is the Spellbinders Crimson cardstock. Okay, now that I have that attached to my card base, we are going to add the leaves. And to do that, I'm going to use some foam squares. So I'm going to use my Holtz ruler to help me locate the center, and I need all the help I can get on that. I'm going to put a little bit of wiggle room glue on the back of each one of these leaves. Takes a little bit of extra time, but it is sure worth it to not have the aggravation. Just a little bit of insurance. Okay, one more. Okay, that'll be good. And I'm going to start with this leaf because it looks like it's our biggest. And we're just going to grab it here and put it about right there. Okay, I think that should be good. Have another one stuck to my hand. Okay, now let's take the right one. And I'm going to place it just about there. And then for our last leaf, it's kind of hard to tell if it's straight or not straight, but I think that'll be good. Put a little bit of glue there. But there we go. And I've made a little bow out of some hemp cord to try to help conceal the fact that I'm a little bit off over here, but off from center, that is, on the sentiment. I'm not really sure that I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to leave it and let it be a happy accident, homemade, not Hallmark. It's a rather simple card, but I think I really like the additional detail that stamp added, the Tim Holtz stamp added to the leaves. That really turned out cute, and I think it made a lot of difference adding that additional definition. And that will pretty much wrap up today's card. I've added a list of all the products I used in the description box below the video for your use, just in case you're interested. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you enjoyed what you saw, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel by hitting that subscribe button and click on the bell if you would like to be notified of future videos. Until next time, happy making!